Welcome, angry faithful. Yeah, we're still somber from the Wednesday happening of what happened to Charlie Kirk. Uh, it happened Wednesday, and we're still having a little bit of teary up and everything. And kind of apologize because the right before we went on air, uh, Erica Kirk came online and live and did a speech. And me and Bill were crying our eyes out while Johnny was watching the New York Yankees and Boston Red Sox. Talk about
Now, I don't have anything to cheer for right now because the Red Sox are getting no hit.
yeah.
I'm trying to speak about the no hitter as much as humanly possible, trying to jinx it for the Yankees.
Yeah.
And they're like, we're watching two vastly different things, and I'm like, I know.
I had to mute the mute your audio for a little bit. It just wasn't meshing with what we were watching.
Yeah.
We're watching that, and all of a sudden you're cheering, and I'm like,
no, I'm not one of those monsters that have been out there all over social media.
Yeah, and that's what we're gonna talk about in the first part of the episode is
vile, disgusting, hateful pieces of shit.
Well, tell me how you really feel, Bill.
It's the aftermath of what happened. Yeah. Go ahead and I can do that here. See if I can.
Does that really work with that hat?
No,
the headphones. I mean, I tried headphones with that hat that I showed you last week, and was like, I just couldn't make it work.
And I can't make that work either. Hold on.
Just take the hat off. You're good. We know.
Give me a sec. Get another hat. 1 sec.
Live podcasting, everybody. This is what we deal with on a, I don't want to say daily basis, but every time we try to go live, something inevitably happens. It's
well, we didn't have our normal prep that kind of me and David look at. It's like can't really get into the world politics of trade right now.
Well, this is about as close to a wardrobe malfunction as you're going to get on this show. So
yeah,
there you go.
But there's been, I'll get into what's happening right now. This is basically what is happening with the people that have been screaming out anything bad about Charlie Kirk right now. And this is just one instance of that.
Fired from my fucking job. I was just fired from my job. I was just fired from my job. I was just fired from my fucking job. I was just fired from my fucking job. Now I have nothing but this. I have nothing but this website. I have nothing anymore. I have nothing. I have nothing anymore. I have nothing anymore. I have nothing.
We'll just watch the.
Well, I mean, the knee-high socks, dude. I mean, like, not to be hateful, because, you know, two wrongs don't make a right, but
it is ridiculous.
I have seen some of the most beta, I guess is the best way to describe them, individuals out there.
Yeah.
You know, here's the thing. I get First Amendment. I understand that.
Yeah.
You know, but there comes with that a responsibility to understand that just because you've got the constitutional protection to to say whatever you want does not mean that you are protected from the consequences, right? You know, the left and the people that believe in that ideology created this cancel culture, right? Not agreeing with what so and so said, or they dig up tweets from like 2015 or whatever, and then they're like, oh, they're racist, and so they would go to cancel them, and but it's, it's never okay when the shoe's on the other foot, right? When a conservative or more libertarian minded person faces that public backlash, usually there's an apology issued, and they're like, okay, well, I just got to go find something else to do. And they pick up and they try to, to do exactly that. But, and I know that we're probably going to catch a lot of crap for this.
Yeah, I don't
But-
care anymore. Don't even mention that.
You're-
We can get all the flack we want. I don't care.
And I
Because
understand.
a lot of those people I don't even listen to anymore.
I understand that. But what I'm saying is the mental health epidemic in this country. I mean, what do we expect to have happened? Over the last 20 years, we've let this kind of run rampantly. And we're letting, people get confused as to what bathroom they're going to use. We're letting kids think that it's okay to crap in a litter box at school because all of a sudden now they're an animal, and we're putting kids on beta blockers and hormone blockers. It's just enough is enough. And it's like, okay, we get that, you should have the freedom to express yourself, but at what cost? I mean, really,
No,
the mental health state of our country it's sad. And yeah, it's an international issue. It's not just here domestically, it's international. Once we start trying to steer away from that, and we start addressing these issues, and because there's plenty of instances, and there's plenty of testimony out there, people who have that were trans. I swear to God. Okay. Anyways, I gotta stop watching this game because the Red Sox are pissing me off.
Okay.
Anyway, there's plenty of testimony out there from people let me finish this thought. Plenty of people that are out there that have been trans, right? They were in the middle of their transition. They were beginning their transition. They met with Charlie at one of his university stops, and they were able to step up to that microphone or even just simply listen to him via the posts that have been put out there or listen to his podcast. And I've seen tons of it over the last 36 hours.
Yeah.
Out there about, people thanking him for making them or allowing them to see the light, to come to Christ, to be able to leave the transition behind, to be able to get back to their lives and live the way that they were intended to live it. And and it's not about homosexuality or anything. It's about this mental disease that's been allowed to, again, run rampant in our country and across the world. And I think that there's a lot of factors that go into the hate that we've been seeing over the last 48 hours. And it's just we need to start addressing that, and as well as a lot of other issues in this country. But just this inability for people to cope with being told no, or being told that you can't do this or you can't do that because of and expect for it to be okay. It's like they're a vocal minority. And it's mind-boggling. I honestly had to take a step back from social media yesterday. I barely picked up my phone, outside of turning on Spotify to listen to music while I was out working in the yard. But I had to stay away from my phone yesterday. I just put it down, keep it in my pocket, not open it up. And because for me, that was a mental health break that I needed.
Yeah.
Just because just the amount of hate that's been out there. And a lot of it's just so vile and so evil. We know that evil exists in this world, and we're seeing it manifested here in our country, again, over the last 36 to 48 hours. And it's disheartening.
Yep. Here is one thing that Oklahoma has done. State Superintendent of Public Instruction, dear Oklahoma parent and guardian, yesterday was a tragic day in the American history as we lost a true warrior for our national future. Charlie Kirk's impact on young people was unmatched, his inspiring a generation, and with his courage, faith, and dedication to America. His legacy will live on today and forever. Let it be clear, any teacher, employee who attempts to glorify this disgusting act of violence will have their teacher's license taken from them and will never set foot in an Oklahoma school again. As parents, you can be assured that we are committed to making our schools and places where the focus remains on academic success and preparing your child for the future. To that end, if you see or hear anything that could endanger your child or their learning environment, please report it through our awareness software. Together, we can ensure Oklahoma's classrooms remain safe, strong, and focused on students. You can find the awareness report system here or on our website for Oklahoma, Ryan Walters.
Yeah, and you've seen a lot of people, I mean, I love statements like that. I mean, they're getting out in front of it, and they're making a statement up front, like, look, you do this, there are going to be consequences. I have seen businesses get shuttered in the last 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
I have seen countless people have lost their jobs, right? And what and I'm not so much applauding it just because, I'm like, oh, you got what coming to you, because that doesn't make us any better than them. It's just that, again, going back to what I said at the beginning, people have forgotten that just because you have a constitutionally protected right to free speech and expression does not mean that you are protected from the consequences of those decisions. And, like, for example, there was a barbecue restaurant up in Cincinnati. They had a contract with the soccer stadium up there.
Oh, yeah.
And, I mean, made an anti-Charlie Kirk, comment after the assassination. And the owners of the stadium and soccer club terminated their contract with that particular restaurant as a vendor in their stadium. and like within a few hours of that contract termination, there's been reports of that barbecue restaurant actually being closed, like, for good.
Yeah. There's so many Reddit. They even made a website to where you can go, and I don't suggest going to these places and just putting in, hey, so-and-so, maybe you should look into it to lose their job. I don't feel that kind of thing is needed.
No, for me, what would constitute a justified reporting is somebody who is placed in charge or given the responsibility or the ward over our children during the course of a day.
Yeah.
Okay. Because it's our choice as parents to be able to choose how our children are raised.
Mm-hmm.
We send our kids to these places of education, whether it be primary, whether it be secondary, whether it be high school, whether it be the higher learning institutions out there and across the country, not to be indoctrinated. We send them over there to learn, your basics, reading, math, reading, writing, arithmetic, the whole 9 yards, not to receive the teacher's political idealization being rammed down their throats. Yeah. We don't care about what your social commentary is. You can keep that to yourself. I mean, it's like, we've got a sign here in our house. It says, as for me and my house, we will worship the Lord. And we take that very seriously. Okay. We don't we don't espouse anti-Christian views under our roof. We don't do that out in the world, because we do know that in this day and age of social media and the internet, once it's out there forever.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And even if it's taken out of context, which is easily done these days. I mean, they're taking a lot of things that Charlie Kirk said out of context, and they're using it to justify them being just vile. But it's, it's easy for somebody who's out there looking for something to take the smallest little part of your phrase and twist it, and all of a sudden you're a bigot, you're an anti-Semite, you're a misogynist, you're an transphobe, whatever. And they'll have you fired from your job, and you won't even see it coming. Okay. Like I said, it like the thing with Paula Deen, right? Way back when. Something that she had tweeted back in, like, what was it, 09 or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
Came back to haunt her, and it was like that's not even what she meant. But as soon as the cancel culture came out in force, we're like, oh, it's this old white Southern woman. Of course she's racist, blah, blah, blah. And so all the sponsors dropped her, the networks dropped her. And of course she had to shut her up her restaurant, and, basically ruined an entire family because somebody disagreed with the way that she lived her life. And I'm like, the age of anonymity, social justice warriors, keyboard warriors, people who hide behind screens. It's a, if there has ever been an actual pandemic, that would be it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll get off that soapbox.
And another firing that happened, and this cost a company a lot of money. Well, probably not that much. Was DC. DC is asking all comic book shops across the globe to send them back all copies of Red Hood issues.
Red Hood, yes, I did hear about that.
Instead of continuing to sell them. This is the reasoning why. On September 10th, the same day Red Hood #1 was released, writer Gritchend Franklin Martin made a post on Blue Sky mocking the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Kirk was known as an anti-trans view, and Martin is a trans author. One post read, "Hope the bullet's okay after touching Charlie's Clark."
Yeah.
So, they once they fired her and they got rid of the comic. They will not say that she was a writer for DC.
Yeah, and you know how when stuff like that happens, like in the past, those comics that have actually made their way into circulation now are all of a sudden very valuable.
Yeah,
these really, things they're not worth it's not worth they're not worth the ink that's printed on the paper.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, she got a IRL retcon.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it's the consequences. And then you get the people who think that they're untouchable, like Stephen King. His little tirades, he again taking something out of context. He accused Charlie Kirk of condoning the stoning of gays. Well, that was never said. And then he goes in, instead of apologizing, he says, "Well, I apologize. What I meant to say was," and he talked about how he accused Charlie of cherry picking Bible verses. And just the backlash that Stephen King has been receiving. And I'm like, Stephen King hasn't been relevant for a very long time.
Well,
I don't care who you are. I don't care how untouchable you think you are. If you spout off the mouth with some vile crap, it's going to come back and bite you in the ass. Pure, plain and simple.
Was he one of the ones who said he was going to leave the country or not?
Yeah, it was. He was.
But he was spouting the garbage long before, during the campaign.
Yeah, and to quote Charlie, America is the only place in the world where people who hate it refuse to leave it.
Also, in hindsight, he did apologize. He said, and he went out and he's like, I deleted all the posts. I am so sorry. I
Too late.
apologize. But
Too late.
yeah,
Yeah,
You don't delete something off of Twitter.
it's coming. Somebody's always going to grab a screenshot,
yeah.
and
Someone's gonna have the receipts.
exactly. You know, to quote Quinn Pratt, you know, the TikToker with he's the HOA president now. He's like, "Pinky's out, bitches." You know, he's like, and I mean, he's been spending the last 48 hours combing through some of the hateful or assassination glorification comments that have been out there, and he's been contacting people's employers and HR departments. Like he's doing like mucho research, and he's been out there like, hey, I just thought maybe you should know your employee is saying this online. You might want to take a look at it.
Yeah, there's even been
Damn.
You know, you do the First Amendment, but some of it, there's a fine line between First Amendment and threats.
Yeah, it's like you can't scream fire in a movie theater.
And well, actually, you can, but
Well, not if it's not real.
yeah, we won't get into the actual Supreme Court law that you can, but there's threats against people. Who was it? Someone put one out. I don't remember if it was for Shapiro, and they're posting, "Oh, great, it's happened to Charlie. You're next." Okay, FBI needs to be on their door.
Yeah, or the TMZ. The TMZ stuff was my favorite because you're watching the timestamps, right?
Mhm.
Live feed in their room, their press room or whatever. And as soon as the announcement was made that Charlie Kirk had passed, they cheered. And then they tried to roll it back and were like, "Oh no, we were cheering the end of a car chase, but the car chase ended 30 minutes before the announcement was made."
Yeah.
And I'm like,
yeah.
I pretty much figured it was over. You know, they're like, hell, he's in critical condition. No, you saw the way Jason Chaffetz was covering it.
yeah.
You knew that he wasn't saying, but he was right there, right near him. You knew he knew. And I have a friend in Germany, and the friend is a Mormon, and he knows all of the senators. He's probably met Charlie. He comes over. He was at the Republican convention, and he pretty much right after it happened, sent a message out to us and said he's gone. Pretty much right after it happened, because he knows all the people in Utah. He knows all the politicians in Utah, and he came out and said no. Don't go with he's in critical condition, because it was pretty much instant.
Yeah, no, I to me,
there's only one person I know of that actually survived something like that, and he put his thumb in his jugular and drove himself to the hospital as fast as possible. And that's Scott.
Well, that and Chuck Norris, but
yeah,
that's neither here. But I think the only reason why that they delayed the announcement, I mean, obviously, once they got him to the hospital, they were able to try to they were able to do some kind of life-saving measures there. And they probably worked on him for that solid hour and a half.
Yeah.
But medically speaking, the way, when the carotid is transected like that, right? What it causes is immediate blood loss and oxygen loss to the brain.
Yeah. And
when there's that much blood loss at once, there's an immediate cardiac arrest.
Yeah.
Which is, and I don't like using descriptions from that close-up video, but when you saw his arms come up, that was his body going into cardiac arrest. I mean, honestly, after the first 4 or 5 minutes without oxygen to his brain. He was brain dead at that point. But I'm not going to be one of these people that comes out and pretends to be an expert in any kind of subject matter. Unlike the forensic experts that do nothing but play Call of Duty all day.
Yeah.
I think that there was some shortcomings as far as the security detail was concerned. They did not have an ambulance on standby. They didn't have the there was one bodyguard that just kind of stood there. And granted, after the first shot, the shooter took off, right? That was all he was there to do. They did not secure Erica or the kids. And it's just
it's kind of revolting for that.
It is. And I think going forward though, just like Erica said, I mean, for a lot of different reasons, Charlie's voice is never going to fade from the American lexicon. It's just not. Silence a voice, but you create a movement that is so loud and so invigorating. I mean, if as long as we don't forget who Charlie Kirk was and what he represented and what he espoused every day, we're going to see a revival in this country that is unlike anything that we've had the pleasure of witnessing in our lifetime.
Yeah.
But just like with a lot of tragedy on a national scale, there's always innovations and evolutions of safety or security that come out of it. I.e., after the Kennedy assassination, presidents were no longer allowed to ride in open-top vehicles, right? After the Pope got shot, again, that's when he started riding around in that bulletproof bubble, right? When Dale Earnhardt Sr. died, turned 4 of the Daytona 500 in 01, all the safety innovations that came with it on track and in the car. So I mean, the things evolved, and that particular thing became safer. We're able to protect our presidents better. We're able to, the Pope is better protected in public. The list goes on and on. But as it relates to public speaking events, I think that they're not going to necessarily get to the Secret Service level of protection. I do think that security is going to become a premium thing, and they're going to start doing things like securing rooftops. I don't think that we need to move things inside, because that's just another appeasement to the enemy, right?
Yeah.
So I think we need to maintain outdoor events, but we need to heighten security, and we need to start treating our public speakers with a bit of I don't want to say reverence. I don't think that's the right word, but I think we need to protect them better. Even if we don't agree with what they're saying, we need to be able to protect them better, because they're out there speaking and hopefully engaging in the type of debate and conversation that Charlie Kirk was having at every stop that he had. That open civil discourse with 98% of the people, right? But again, there's a lot of lessons that could be learned from the events that took place in Utah. And I think going forward, the public speaking arena, so to speak, is going to be vastly different, and it's going to be a lot safer for the people that are involved.
I don't see why they couldn't use. Now, I think they mentioned it during the Trump near miss. Drones. I don't see why they can't, because drones are cheap. Drones are cheap. AI programming, AI identification wouldn't be real expensive. You could take and fly a drone and go, okay, here's the areas where there shouldn't be a person. fly it
Yeah.
over it, and it could easily identify, okay, someone came into this area, he's not supposed to be here, and it would notify someone. That would be cheap.
Yeah,
Cheap.
well, I mean, at the very least, right? I mean, you've got campus security, for these university tours. If you're hiring, if your security personnel are doing their due diligence, I mean, they're thinking about things like line of sight. They're thinking about open windows. They're thinking about rooftops. The fact that they're attaching the name sniper to somebody who made a 200-yard shot, I think is a little generous, but it still, I mean, it and there's video evidence, obviously, before and after of somebody being on that roof.
Yeah,
That should have been something, right? And yeah,
he got on that roof like at 11:25.
yeah.
And
But the fact that it wasn't addressed, nobody saw that. I mean, there was people that saw it. We've seen video clips of people going, "Hey, it looks like somebody's on that roof," but they didn't say anything to anybody. I don't even want to imagine what that person is thinking and how they're feeling. I mean, especially if they're a Kirk supporter, they're like, "Man, I saw that, and that's just I could have they're probably wearing that crown real heavy today, or at least they have been over the last 48 hours."
Yeah.
But I think that the evolution of safety and security is definitely going to take a leap, a light year leap after the events this week. And going forward, I think that that's a good thing. We know that the legacy of Charlie Kirk is never, is not going to fade. His mission is not going to end. But I think past that, I think the events that led to Charlie Kirk's untimely passing from this earth are going to transcend past the theological and the political. I mean, it's going to transcend into so many different areas as it relates to public speaking and engagement with the crowd that, it's going to be immeasurable, honestly.
Well, we already got some videos of it actually transcending. Here's a haku from London's center.
Oh, Oaxaca? Yeah. See, that gives me chills, man, because when you get when you are the recipient of a haka, dude, that is high praise.
Mm-hmm.
That is the highest level of respect.
I unfortunately haven't seen it because I haven't kept up with my normal news around the world that I do. But I know they tried to have a moment of silence on the floor of the UK Parliament.
Mm-hmm.
And they wouldn't let him do it. And there's a video I would have watched. I don't want to play it because I haven't seen it yet, and I don't know if there's bad music in it or whatever. But it's Nigel Farage furious over the reaction over the Charlie Kirk killing.
Yeah, and then in the EU, right? Their version of Parliament or whatever.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. The EU.
Oh, I thought you said the Parliament like in the UK.
Oh no. Well, okay.
Well,
I did.
I read about that same thing. Yeah, no, I read about it also.
Because Nigel Farage, hopefully he'll win.
Yeah. Well, and a majority of the members wanted to observe that moment of silence, to include the I guess the president or whatever. And there was that small minority that refused to allow it to happen because they were like, well, he wasn't an elected official and he's not a member of the EU. And yeah, so I mean, I'm like, come on, man. I mean, really.
And I haven't looked at the other countries, like I said, but I do know I saw because I have a lot of people from Australia on my X feed that there have been some people fired from their jobs in Australia over it.
Oh, I believe it.
So this is a worldwide movement. This isn't the United States.
Yeah, no, it's and that speaks a lot to the character of Charlie Kirk.
Mm-hmm.
It speaks a lot to the message that he was conveying. That it just, I don't want to use the words pure. I'm trying very hard not to elevate him to like a deity-esque, level, because
Yeah, he made mistakes. He even said he made mistakes.
Yeah, I mean, he was human.
Yeah.
But, unlike a lot of other celebrity deaths, not to minimize them or anything like that, but with Charlie Kirk, and David, you and I talked about this on Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
What made this one hurt, it's not that the fact that we knew him personally. It's the fact that he was one of us.
Yeah.
Right? He basically created or helped create this organization at the age of 18 because he wanted to make that difference, and he tried his best to live the message, right? To live by the word that he was, that he believed in. And he was the everyman. And the fact that he was able to the fact that he was able to reach so many people, to touch so many hearts and so many lives. I mean, I don't like the whole sainthood thing with that the Catholic Church does. But if there was one person this century that was able to physically do the good work, right?
Mhm.
This was one of these rare examples. We may never see another Charlie Kirk. And that's sad in its own right, but it also speaks to the volume of his character and the content of his character. His ability to communicate was very, I don't know, Bill, you can back me up on this, but to me, Charlie Kirk had a very Reagan-esque air about him with the way that he was able to convey the conservative message.
With the calm.
Yeah. I mean, he was a very good communicator. He was the great orator.
I've heard, and I don't doubt this, many people really expected that he would be president.
Yeah. There was a very wide belief that he was going to run initially for governor of Arizona.
Yeah.
And there was a quote from his wife that from an interview that she had given earlier in the year, where Charlie was saying, there's something big coming, right? And there's people that live around them in the Phoenix area, very just substantially older people that were like, we will vote for you.
Yeah.
Because they were excited about the kinds of change that he wanted to bring. And, he electrified the conservative base. And, sorry, I said I was going to stop looking at this game because the Red Sox were making me mad and they just threw a guy out at home. So, anyway, so,
well, watch this real quick while
Yeah.
you get this. This is Wednesday night at a Wesley University, and these are all children giving their lives to Jesus.
Volume.
Can't do the volume.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the problem with TikTok on a lot of these they have like background music, so copyright infringement and stuff like that. But you're looking at probably I don't want to say 100, probably about 75 kids.
I tell you, Trump is working with big tech. Big tech is up there, and they're having all their meetings. Someone needs to get up and say, "Hey, you need to get with Google and try to rein in some of this censorship garbage on YouTube." That's and it's getting worse and worse. Now I'm seeing, they have the words like you unalived and pew pew. Now I'm seeing, and this is the first time a couple of days ago, that how sometimes there'd be those words, so you'd put a meme on the screen that has those words on it. Now I'm seeing people have it where those words are scratched out, even on a image,
Yeah.
so you can't see it because the AI is going around and looking for that, and they use the excuse, "It's for the children. It's for the children." Like the Australian censorship in December 1st. I think I mentioned it last week that they are now going to be required to have stored a digital ID to even access Google.
Oh,
And
wow.
that starts December 1st. And I saw kind of an aside from the Charlie thing. Someone who's in IT came out and said, "Okay, how are they going to do that? There is no computer system on Earth that can track that and prohibit that except China's digital social ID system." And Albanese spent 6 days in China, and everyone's going like, "You spent 6 days?" He was in 6 days a couple of months ago in China. It's like, you haven't even met with Trump, and you're spending 6 days in China. And during this last little parade that China had, they had representatives from North Korea and all over the place. They had 2 guys from Australia at that parade. And people ask Albanese about that, and he said, "Well, they're private citizens, so I can't say anything against that." Well, they were big political people right before going into private, getting out of politics. So why are they over there at a communist parade? So I think worth looking into would be, are they going to use the Chinese social ID system in Australia? And this
Probably.
starts December 1st. A lot of people on my Australia list that I've got, they have flat out saying, "We're going dark December 1st because we're not going to log in, sign up." They're talking about, well, you can go on a VPN, and they're looking at VPNs might be blocked in Australia, so Australians can't use a VPN.
Well, talking about the last bit of it, the shooter was caught, and what was it's kind of sad. I was gonna do a little bit and bring a book of old Yeller, but the father, the kid confessed, and I'm not saying the name. I mean, it's all over there. You can find the name. I'm not gonna.
We're not gonna give credence by uttering that monster's name. Sorry.
We'll go Voldemort. But his dad turned him in. His dad's 27 years in the sheriff's department in that area.
It was the dad and the pastor. Now there have been some reports out there that was like the dad convinced the kid to surrender, and I'm like, no.
Mm-mm.
Like, why would he's a 27-year law enforcement veteran? Your son just admitted to assassinating a high-profile member of society. The FBI is hot on your kid's trail. There is no, hey, you need to turn yourself in. No. This is your responsibility as a father is secondary.
Yeah, at that point,
your responsibility as a peace officer.
Yeah, you need to pull Bass Reeves.
I think more,
and not to say that I'm sorry, Bill. Not to say that this whatever happened. But if it did, and I found myself in the position that this gentleman did, it would break my heart to do it. But I would have to do that.
Yeah.
And that's between me and God to, sort that out on my conscience. But it would be a disservice. It would be an injustice to, let your kid just sit there and contemplate whether or not they were going to run or whatever. Because then at that point, I become complicit and I become an accessory, right? By aiding and abetting.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. Especially after 27 years in law enforcement, I worked too hard to get to where I'm at. I'm not going to throw my pension away because of you. No, you're gone. And, so the fact that he is in custody, he's already been talking. We need to keep him talking. I saw Chad Prather earlier today. He was like, we need to keep him talking. We need to protect this kid because we don't need another Jack Ruby Oswald situation. If we can keep him alive past the next, within, past the next 72 hours, next 72 hours, the better, because we need to see how far this goes.
Yeah.
Because at the age that this person is, there's no way that this was something that they orchestrated by themselves. You know what I'm saying? And there's been a lot of people that were talking about, well, his parents and the pastor, they're both registered Republicans. And so somebody was saying, no, watch the right try to spin this as being another whack job, liberal shooter.
The
Well,
left
they
are-
were. And this person is a liberal. They are a registered Democrat. And
here's the sad thing though. They've been photoshopping Trump shirts onto him. Same photo. You can pull them up and you pull up his shirt that's gray, and they photoshopped it closed in of a Trump shirt. It was like, no, he was a maggot.
No. See,
Yeah.
that's what I find that hilarious. That they are in such spin mode that that there's that they're looking at it like, well, there's no way, not another one. Here's the thing: the party of peace and inclusion and acceptance is not. They are the furthest thing. David, again, you and I discussed this on Wednesday. The definition of fascism is to suppress an opinion that differs from yours using violence to obtain your goals, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
What do we see the left doing all the time?
Yeah.
Oh, you arrested our guy. We're going to burn our town down.
Yeah.
You're going to say that what we're doing is not right. Well, we're going to come shoot up your schools. I mean, come on.
Yeah. It even goes as far as the Ukrainian woman that got stabbed by a black man. Black man, but
and that's because a left-wing activist judge let this animal go. And before the masses come at us about, they called him an animal because he was black. No, he's an animal because he's a career criminal with violent crimes.
14 times and
14 violent offenses.
The only reason why he was let go because it was a magistrate judge. A person.
We need to get rid of the cashless bail system. Honestly,
I
what system?
The cashless bail.
Or that too.
Yeah, cashless bail. That is a bad idea.
Oh yeah. But we also
you want to make bail? Find the cash. Find the cash.
And the cashless bail is the reason that we didn't have Dr. Oz as a senator in Pennsylvania, because Philadelphia was so heavy into the cashless bail system that's where it broke. If you look at the exit polls, Philadelphia broke because of cashless bail and their support for it.
Which I'm not totally mad at the senator they have now.
I mean, Lurch.
You're not. The liberals are pretty mad.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he breaks rank. I mean, he's like Italy, Oh, I'll vote with you. No, I'm going to vote against you now. Oh, and he keeps changing sides. It's comical. I mean, but the dude, I mean, the only reason why he showed up in a suit for picture day was because he was being threatened with censure.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he's on the floor of the house in sweats.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bring it on, dude. Like, he's the kind of guy that would if he could get away with it, he would probably, have a Super Bowl watch party from the floor while he's he's crushing hot wings and pounding, a keg of beer. He's got a keg tap out there in the rotunda,
I would totally be there. I would totally be there.
Just for the experience, I would totally be there as well.
Now, okay, going on the wondering what if type thing, do you, and this is going to be dark and morbid, but thank the Lord that he gave me infantrymen to hang out with. Do you think the pastor or the father took the $100,000? What is it, $100,000?
Yeah, and there was somebody else that said that they were going to throw in another 25,000. Honestly, if we lived in a perfect world and there was a Walgreens on every corner, that's a deep cut. Who remembers that ad campaign? Anyway,
more likely a CVS nowadays.
Yes, that's true. With their 35-mile long receipts. Either the reward money would have been donated to the Kirk family, or that money would have gone to the church.
Yeah. Now there's also some things that we need to talk about right now. Do not go on TikTok and they have those freedom t-shirts that say, "Oh, these are going to the family."
They're
go
not.
to the charliekirk.com website and you can buy those shirts.
It's a $40 t-shirt.
Yeah.
You know exactly where it's coming from. You know exactly where the proceeds are going to. I see these ads and these people are, they're making the freedom t-shirts. And I'm like, these people are disgusting. They might have not been the ones that came out and had this, like, he deserved to die, videos or posts, but you're you're profiting off of somebody else's death.
Yeah.
I don't know, that's like nails down a chalkboard, right? I would rather listen to my ex-mother-in-law talk to me about the virtues of good versus evil for 10 days straight than to donate to somebody else's pocket because they wanted to produce a counterfeit t-shirt.
Yeah.
There was a lot of counterfeit Trump gear out there, and there's a lot of fraud on Facebook. I'm getting a little tired of this. We're going to give you so much money if you give us $100 gift card. Yeah, okay. When someone really needs extra money, like I would have been late for the podcast when my wife came through the door earlier and said, "We need to go to Walmart right now because I got to get $100 gift card." And I was like, "Really?" "Well, I can't show you because you would say I shouldn't do it." Yeah. So all it took was a Google search. Sometimes I've taken Grok and one time I took the entire conversation that she did, put it into Grok, and he's like, "Okay, contact the police and tell them this. Go in and put a block on all your credit cards. Stop this." And he went through and told me what to do. Of course, on that particular one, she had put her her name, address, and that we were going to be on vacation, and the dates we were going to be on vacation. Yeah.
We learned not to do that in Home Alone. I'm sorry.
She wants a car so bad that she's looking at all of this and falling for the Facebook scam. Hopefully she's not listening. We've had to change one of her credit cards twice and cancel it.
Yeah.
And then she used one that I don't necessarily look at because I don't necessarily look at it, and it's got like a $16,000 limit on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "You used that one?" No, you can't. Some banks do allow you to create virtual cards,
What?
where you have a virtual card number. And I do recommend anything suspicious. If you want to actually give it money, take a virtual card, create it. You can load it with a minimum amount of money so they can't even access and overcharge your regular account.
Yeah.
So
You know
that's
what?
a tip out there.
Go ahead. Finish it up, Bill.
No, that
You know,
was it. The other thing I'm looking at is you were talking about the hate of the liberals,
okay.
and there is
watch
a list, but you can't read it because this is YouTube. You can't even read what they've been saying.
Yeah. Well, watch this, and I'll say this because one, we're not monetized. We're not making any money off these things, and we're on X. So if we get a little bit more prevalence on our lives on X, so I don't care. Fuck this cunt.
People don't have any intention of saying something that's going to lead to something dangerous, but we cannot take responsibility for the minds that are out there and how they hear it.
Yeah.
Did
Did anybody's ears burn? I felt a little burn there.
I have from just about any politician, and it's any liberal politician, and it's going to be interesting to see. They're trying to flip the script and say he was a conservative, even though, of course, he wasn't. Yeah, there's families that a lot of families of the are rich that send their kids to the colleges, and that's where they get radicalized. It's going to be interesting to see
Hattie Reagan,
how they turn it
Ronald
around.
Reagan's daughter.
Yeah,
Ronald Reagan's daughter is a flaming liberal. Ron Reagan Jr. flaming liberal. The second that those two turned 18, and they wasted no time throwing their parents under the bus. None. Absolutely zero.
I'm going to be interested to see how those cities that are saying, "Oh no, Trump, don't come in and help us with crime." It's going to be interesting to see how that narrative continues now. And I think that's why they're trying to flip it and say the kid was conservative, is then they can keep using their crime narrative.
You know, if they were worried about trying to flip the script on this kid, why is Facelift McGee out there trying to get out in front of this? I mean, basically, they're behind the 8 ball already. So, she's in damage control. But, it's like, you want to talk about gaslighting America? Like, oh, we can't take responsibility for what they hear. Yeah, you can. Because the second that if the shoe was on the other foot, you want to talk about that would be their main talking point? Like, well, the message that they're putting out is affecting the minds of X, Y, and Z. They're responsible. Like, are you serious? What did they try to do to the president with this so-called January 6th garbage? They were saying that he was inciting an insurrection. Oh, but he can't be held responsible by what they hear, right? According to their standard. Or does it only work one way? That is so mind-numbing and infuriating.
I was going to pull up, because every time I open Facebook, it usually comes up now with the saying that the killer was a Republican. I just pulled it up, and the first that it came up was Terrence K. Williams' official tracker, the current number of lunatics that have lost their jobs from celebrating Charlie Kirk's assassination, 123.
Put that link in the text thread, because I would really want to see that.
Yeah.
I'm not okay. Now I laugh. Okay. I laugh, but don't misconstrue that. I'm not celebrating the fact that these people lost their jobs. I'm laughing at the fact that they thought that they were untouchable. That's what I'm
Yeah.
laughing at.
I can't put it in the text, but I just sent it to Dave. I just sent it to David.
Okay. Well, David, you figure out the logistics on it and get that to me, and or just type it. Just send it to me, not the link, but what the web address is going to be, and I can go take a look at it.
I'll just share it right now.
Okay. Official track. Oh, is this a Twitter handle? Or
No,
an
it's
X handle?
a Facebook post.
Oh, is it Facebook? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I forwarded it through
Wow,
David's Facebook.
173. That is crazy.
That was 2 hours ago, and the first comments under that said, "I heard it was over 500." There are several people dedicating their time and locating. That's what you were saying, and exposing these people.
Like Quinn Pratt, like I said, the HOA guy on TikTok. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, check out the when you get it after we get off. Check out the comments. We are on war footing now. Flush the toilet.
What? Man,
It's probably more. I'm guaranteeing that it's
but
probably.
the thing about flushing the toilet, Bill, is like there are so many plant-based wipes out there that it would clog up the plumbing. We would get a backup. It's horrendous.
with the USAID gone, they're running out of places to go.
Yeah, right? It's like, well, we ran out of handout money from the government. Oh, wait, let me say something stupid, get fired, and go on unemployment. But the thing about unemployment is the fact that employers can deny your unemployment just by the termination code that they put on the request or on the query for information, right? They could be like due to misconduct. It's like, oh no, you're not getting this. Sorry. Like deuces. Oh, well, I guarantee you we're going to see a lot of Oscar Foxtrot upticks.
Another thing, okay, people calling him a racist. Here's the most racist thing I have ever seen.
Unfortunately, in the Black community, dads are the most absent of any community. About 2/3 of all Black youth will be raised without a stable father around. And I know it's crazy, right? And that little precious angel of yours deserves to have a father around. For daughters and for sons, it's different things. For a daughter, that's a father figure to look up to say that is how a man should act, and someone that I ought to one day marry, someone that will protect me from a vicious world, and someone that makes me understand what strength and not brutality looks like, what justice but not revenge looks like. To have a father figure is a silent way of forming a child to be a mature citizen. And unfortunately, as we've removed dads from families, government has come in and has taken the place. So some people need help and they need social assistance. All of that should be about incentivizing the dad staying around, not the dad leaving. Unfortunately, with welfare, you can get more money for single mother assistance.
This is very true.
And so you agree. We're actually subsidizing single motherhood more than we are subsidizing family formation. The number one objective of any social welfare program should be, how do we keep the family together and put dads back in the family? That is the
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen. Yeah. And Bill, we've talked about this in the past where LBJ, when he signed the New Deal, I mean, they were creating an entire underclass of voters by subsidizing the destruction of the atomic family. We've talked about that in the past. It's generational theft is basically what it amounts to.
Yeah.
I mean, can you imagine if the family model had been left alone, if MTV had not stopped playing music, where we would be as a society?
If MTV had not,
if they had not stopped playing music videos, never mind. I was trying to make a joke there, and it went just right over your head.
I was
David,
like,
were you tracking with what I was saying?
Into liberal programming because they no longer have music, and so I was trying to rationalize that as
sorry.
They were playing music, and now they're not, and they went to all these other programs that did all this other stuff. Yeah, I see that. If they'd have just played the music, they wouldn't have
played music instead of glorifying shows like Teen Mom. I mean, come on.
Yeah, that's
What's
true.
Teen Mom?
Exactly what you would. The title is self-explanatory.
Yeah. But here's the bad thing. We wouldn't have gotten Jackass. And if we didn't get Jackass, we wouldn't have gotten Idiocracy.
Never seen either one of those.
Really?
Dude, you need to check out Idiocracy.
Yes.
I'm telling you, man.
It-
Idiocracy, and to be fair, Idiocracy is where we got Crocs.
Yeah. Well, we got them beforehand, but they were
there, but
popular.
they got a lot of their investment money from Mike Judge.
You mean the
because of
alligator
Idiocracy.
Alcatraz Crocs? What?
Don't make jokes because you're not good at it.
Phil.
Hey, they used to laugh at my jokes at work.
No, we were laughing at you because we were afraid that you were going to kill us. One of your personalities was going to go out and just do like mass ecstasy on all of us. That's why a lot of people. I learned if you want to have a decent workplace, just every once in a while, just look back and it's like, no, they're not that bad, and just have a regular conversation.
I mean, that joke went out for milk and never came back. I'm just saying.
Okay, I'll have to think about that.
See, you don't get our jokes, Bill. Just
Which tells me you don't watch the Monday night show, do you, Bill?
There's a Monday night show.
see,
Watch out about those sound effects on another side. Do you get those from Elgato?
No. There's a free use site out there. I can't think of the name off the top of my head, but it's a free use site. I mean, they're there. I mean, the smoke detector sound is. I mean, nobody can put a copyright on that. So
yeah.
Well, Elgato actually, I've got most of my sounds off of that for the Stream Deck. If you have one of those, and they came out with a notification a few days ago that said we're not going to be supplying the copyright to those sound effects anymore. So if you have any of them and you use them after like October something or November something, then you will get a copyright violation from YouTube or wherever you use it because you'll no longer have the rights to it. You need to go to this site that we get them from and purchase a subscription.
no,
I seriously doubt that.
Jerks.
There are some sounds that I have that came preloaded with the software on this board.
Yeah.
And then I've got my AI voices that I've generated using an AI voice generator.
Yeah.
Sounds will be removed from the marketplace on November 15th. You will not be able to download them or use them in live stream or new projects. You have to go to Storyblocks and get a subscription.
I think that's a scam. But anyways,
it's on the Elgato marketplace.
The
device where you download the additions to it.
I'm not going to post the video up because we're on YouTube today. But there's a video out there to where people were praying in the Indiana capital, Idaho Capitol, and they're praising God and praying for Charlie Kirk, and some idiot on a bike.
Oh, and he got fucked up.
Oh yeah. After he said it, he's like, "Oh, I saw that on that. Oh yeah. Guys, maybe you should lay off." Okay.
Yeah, that was a Sports Center top 10 tackle right there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
Now going on we went on an hour with the Charlie Kirk stuff. If you're here just for that, we're not gonna blast. We blasted enough. There is some good news that's happening. $550 billion pipeline. And Japan's helping pay for it. They're getting the first half is going to be 50-50 once it is paid off. Once Japan is paid off, it's going to be a 80-10 or 80-20, I believe.
Cool.
I've been totally out of because of the Charlie Kirk thing and making a video. I've been totally out of it. Is that in Alaska?
Yeah.
Okay, because I've been tracking that for a couple of reasons. In February, he announced it in January, right after the inauguration, and in February they were saying, "Oh, there's no way he's going to get that." And then a couple of months ago, Bassett was up there with a group of people, and they said, "Yeah, we've got investors for it, and we're running it parallel to the oil pipeline, the natural gas, so they don't have to buy the right of way or do any of that extra stuff." And I know right now, and it's interesting to track Canada because they're trying to beat the United States into the West Coast, and she wants to put a pipeline out to the West Coast and build a terminal. And their eco-fascist environmental nut jobs are never going to let that happen.
No,
Yeah, no.
no.
So Yahoo, we're still going to get it, and the going to the east, getting it to Europe. Carney has said he wants green oil, and there's some kind of a green natural gas project that Germany abandoned, where they convert the LNG to or convert it to some other form, and then ship it, and then it has to be converted back, and then over to this. And it's way expensive, but Carney has gone so nuts on the environmentalist.
Yeah. But I think we talked about all the stuff that we wanted to talk about this week. A lot of stuff has happened, especially, I mean, I don't like the blast stuff as it but sometimes some things need to deserve to be blasted.
Yeah,
We went a little bit
exactly.
longer.
And I want to piggyback off of that, David. You know, we try to spread it out. You know, we try to be a little bit more diverse.
But
It's just whenever things like
even
this,
though we're all three white males,
yeah, but when things like this happen, that hit so close to home and have such a huge, not only immediate but lasting impact on American culture, American society, that we have to devote a considerable amount of time to that. Just for, if anything else, and I know that David said that we're trying not to blast on this, and this will be the last thing I say about it, at least tonight. But with the type of person that Charlie Kirk is, whatever, we would be remiss if we didn't spend a little bit of time trying to pay tribute to him, a little bit of time trying to convey the level of respect that we have for him, his mission, his family, the turning point itself, because we believe in what they were trying to accomplish, what they are going to accomplish, what they're continuing to try and accomplish. It's relevant, and it means something to us.
Yeah.
And we don't answer to sponsors, at least yet. Okay, we don't have the requirement of live reads or being broken up by commercials for monetization purposes or anything like that. This is our platform. This is our show. This is what we are cultivating, and we appreciate everybody that tunes in on a weekly basis. And yeah, exactly. And, we have nothing but love for the people that listen to us on a weekly basis, even if they don't agree with us politically, or they don't agree with us on anything. Okay. The fact that we can have that conversation and we can have it without the level of hostility that we've seen over the last 72 to 48 hours is, it speaks volumes to the type of person that Charlie Kirk was, because he was able to go out into basically into hostile territory and have these types of conversations with people that had an impact. And if we didn't spend a little bit of time trying to, address that, to pay tribute to that, to talk about how it affected us on a personal level, it would be a disservice to his memory and the mission that he was on. Does that basically kind of wrap it up for you?
Yeah. One last thing, and just to show how much
your slides out before we go off.
Yeah.
Okay, but just to mention that if you've seen the JD Vance carrying the casket to Arizona and the tower after the plane land, it was basically thank you for bringing.
Yeah, welcome home, Charlie. You didn't deserve this. Yeah.
I didn't see that. Was something was printed on the tower?
No, the air traffic control, they were given the directions to the Air Force 2 pilots as to, what runway to take and everything. And they said, welcome home, Charlie. You didn't deserve this. We will miss you.
Yeah.
And Air Force 2, their pilot keyed the mic twice. Because really there's nothing to say after that. But the fact that JD Vance did not take his hand off of the casket, he didn't look at his watch. The fact that the second lady walked off of the plane holding Erica's hand.
Mm-hmm.
It speaks volumes about what Charlie Kirk personified, the type of person or the type of people that the Vances are, and the effect that the Kirk family has had on the American public. It speaks volumes.
Mm-hmm.
Really. Yeah, I saw that. And honestly, when I saw that the first time, I choked up, And when we saw that right there, dude. Yeah,
go
right
to
there.
Billy D. Williams' Facebook feed.
Yes, where he was talking about the Yankee Stadium tribute.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's several about Charlie Kirk out there right now.
Yeah.
And this is the one that hit me the most. That one.
Yeah. Because above all else, yes, he was a patriot, but he was a husband. He was a father. And he was dedicated to his family. I saw an interview today that he had given where every Friday he would turn his phone off and just put it in a drawer. He would be offline. Nobody would be able to reach him because he would spend Friday with his kids, and he wouldn't turn his phone back on until like late Saturday or early Sunday.
Mm.
And, Erica was talking about how she knew that when she saw him turn that phone off, and as soon as it went in the drawer, it stayed in that drawer for a full 24 hours. And he was there. He was present for her. He was present for the kids. And, he was one of us. So,
Yeah.
And do watch Erica's statement she made.
I'm going to go back and watch it.
A couple of hours ago.
I should have been watching it live, but instead I was wasting my time watching the Red Sox flail against the Yankees tonight.
Yeah. Go ahead and lead us in prayer on this one.
All right. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we come to you today. Lord, we thank you for another glorious day on this earth. We thank you for the messages of support that we have seen for Charlie Kirk and his family. We thank you for the fact that somebody like Charlie Kirk was allowed to exist on this earth. We thank you for the strength and the depth of character that he broadcast out into the world on a daily basis, both in front of the camera and behind the scenes. You made him into the image of what fatherhood should look like, what being a husband should look like, what being a patriot should look like. Father, we ask that you wrap your arms around our nation during this time of mourning and healing. We ask that you soften the heartstrings of those that spew vile sewage about this man, about this family. We ask that you bring us together, that you spur on and fuel a great revival, a great awakening in our country. We ask that the images of revival and renewing extend past our borders and reaches its way around this world, Lord. Because I, with the hatred that we've seen, we've realized that we're distant from you, and we desperately need your guidance. We need your love. We just ask that you walk with us, walk beside us, give us the strength, give us the guidance, and that you speak into our hearts and you remind us that the one true love in this universe belongs or comes from you. Father, it's in these things that we pray in your Son's holy and precious name. Amen.
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 Thank you all for sticking with us for the hour and 20 minutes of this show. Usually we don't go this long, but yeah. I'm David Dickerman.
I'm Johnny Skelton.
And I'm Wild William, otherwise known as Bill.
And check him out on his new page once he gets it up. But love you, everybody that paid attention to us a little bit, even for a couple of minutes. Thank you for showing a little bit. And I hope you enjoy it. Love you
Be
guys.
good to each
I
other.
really want to say it.
Go for it, man.
David, I really want to say it.
Go for it.
No. I already agreed not to do it. We're not going to do it because I almost did it, and we're not going to do that.
Do it. Do it. Do it now. Do it now.
Like and subscribe. Share if possible.
Because we're three wild and crazy guys.
Bye, everybody.